It hurt and all, but I think just that Katie, she helped me through everything.
This is 10-year-old Krystal Surles, whose throat was slashed. She was present at the murder of her best friend, Katie. She is one of the few survivors to escape serial killer Tommy Lynn Sells. He is the murderer, Tommy Lynn Sells. In this video, he describes in detail what happened inside the Harris family house.
I walked over here.
That night, the window was left open, and he simply climbed right in. It looks dead easy.
Then I came over here, and there's a little girl sleeping here.
This chamber is inhabited by Krystal's sister, Mark A.
They didn't want me in there, and I was made to leave.
Then I look in here, and there's two girls sleeping in here.
Krystal and her close friend, Katie, were in this room. After killing the two girls, Sells believed he had left no evidence behind and departed that very night. When this happened, Krystal was only 10 years old. A 10-year-old child, witnessing a horrific scene she would never forget, relied on her own resourcefulness to survive the atrocity. Her bravery made Tommy Lynn Sells be punished, showing the truth that finally ended his 20 years of very violent behavior. 1999. This is the family of Krystal Surles, who is mom to Pam and has two younger sisters, Mark and Amber. They were moving to the small, peaceful town of Del Rio in Texas to welcome the new year. For Krystal, this move was a move next door to her best friend, Katie. Today is December 30th. Tomorrow we'll see mom Pam move into the house, which she is currently packing up to ready it for her arrival. The plan is for them to celebrate New Year's together. Krystal and her sisters are spending tonight at Chris's home.
We talked about Britney Spears and NSYNC. We kind of stayed up a little later, and we got in a little fight about where we were all gonna sleep.
At around 3:30 a.m., Krystal Surles was startled awake.
We went to bed kind of late, but I remember I woke up to like a scream.
The light was on, and she lay on the top bunk of the bunk bed, looking around.
But then I saw that Katie had blood on her and that he had a knife in his hand.
The man didn't notice Krystal Surles had woken up, but she witnessed everything he did.
He had a knife across her throat and his hand on her mouth, and he just cut her throat. She fell to the ground.
Krystal is horrified. She wanted to help her friend. If the man found her, he would kill her.
He still didn't notice I was in the room, and he was getting ready to leave. He opened the door, almost had the light off, looked one last time, and he saw me looking at him.
Krystal got a clear look at the man's face.
He had scruffy hair, long, dark, curly hair, and a big, scary, long, bushy beard that, just took over his whole face, and then his eyes were just dark and mean.
Krystal was noticed by the killer, who then closed the door before walking over to her.
I was trying to scoot to the right side of the bed because he was on the left. He just reached over and cut my throat like this.
Krystal dared not make a sound.
And then I just remember laying there and the light turning off, and I heard the door shut. And so I got on my hands and knees, and I was crawling across the floor in the bedroom, and I came across Katie on the floor. She was kind of making a gasping noise, or maybe she was choking. But then I was trying to comfort her. I laid next to her, rubbing her back, and that's when I realized I couldn't talk, because all I wanted to say was everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, but I couldn't.
Krystal watched her best friend die in her arms and had to find a way to get out of there.
And then, as soon as she stopped making those noises, I had this feeling, get out of here, get up, come on, go, don't lay here, go.
The sound of a car driving away outside could not be used to ascertain whether the killer had left.
It was dark outside. I was in my pajamas, no shoes, nothing. And I just decided, I saw a light in the distance. I was like, that's my goal. That's where I need to be. I just got on the road and walked really slow to that light. Really, all I could think about was, just get to this house, just get to this house, just get to this house. And I just banged on their door, and I hear a gentleman, he's like, who's there, I can't talk. So I'm just banging as hard as I can on the door. And then he opens the door.
Krystal pleaded with this man, hoping he could help her. Krystal covered her neck with one hand and wrote with the other, saying, "My neck needs treatment." She also wrote, "Will I live?"
What is your emergency?
I have a little girl just rang my doorbell.
At 6 a.m., Krystal's mother was awakened by a phone call from over 700 miles away.
It was Valverde emergency room asking me for my permission to lifelike Krystal she had been attacked. And I said, absolutely, Lifeline, or where? And they said San Antonio. I didn't know anything other than Krystal had had her throat cut.
Krystal's mother rushed over upon hearing the news. She learned at the hospital that her trachea and vocal cords had been severed.
When I got in her room, I saw this little girl with all of these tubes, and one of the machines was breathing for her.
Krystal was unable to speak and could only communicate by writing. As soon as she woke up, she asked how Katie was doing.
And then she kept asking me, is Katie okay? Is Katie okay? And I couldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her anything.
Krystal's mother couldn't bring herself to tell her that her best friend, Katie, had passed away.
When I walked into the crime scene, on the floor was a deceased young girl. The crime scene was extremely bloody.
Detectives are hoping to speak with the surviving 10-year-old child.
We told Krystal who we were, and at that point in time, I assured Krystal that we are going to arrest the person or persons who did this to her.
Krystal was unable to speak and could only describe the suspect, prompting the police to create a composite sketch. Subsequent comparisons revealed a man named Tommy. He matched the sketch description. He worked selling secondhand cars. Police showed Krystal photographs. Tommy Lynn Surles was ultimately identified as the killer following Krystal's identification. He was then apprehended in his vehicle.
I'm glad I finally got caught.
With his consent, the scene was investigated.
Are you doing this walkthrough of your own free will?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I cut her bra, and I cut the side of her, whatever she was wearing. I stabbed her here, and then she like jumped back, and then I walked over here, and I went like this.
Surles described it matter-of-factly, but back at the police station, he revealed something truly chilling.
I sat in that interrogation room for hours, listening to Tommy Lynn Surles go from state to state to state, talking about the people he killed, the men he killed, the women he killed, the children he killed.
This is 2 females, and it happened in '91, close to Cabin Creek.
That's when I realized we were dealing with a serial killer, a cold-blooded serial killer.
This is a cold-blooded serial killer who has eluded capture for 20 years. Krystal's recovery is slowly being made, and the killer's trial is imminent. Before the trial, Krystal's received a gift, hoping it would help her get through this difficult time.
And I'm to tell you that this is to help guide you, okay?
Come on. Mom! They didn't. They Oh.
A friend who had also escaped the killer gave her a cross to wear.
As you face this journey from the moment you begin, know that God will guide you, and you'll have the strength to win.
12 September, the trial officially began.
Let me have the defendant rise and face the jury and all that.
Katie's parents described their grief over losing their daughter to the court.
What I was told was an intruder had entered the premises and my daughter was gone.
They discovered that it was my own daughter who was in the house. I just cried and cried.
The next witness is Krystal, who will describe the events to the jury.
It's like, I'm ready. They, said, do you want to walk by him? You could either walk by him or just walk through this door and get on the stand. And I said, I want to walk by him. I'm not scared of him.
Krystal bravely recounted the events to the jury.
Were you ever awakened during the night?
Yes.
What was it that awakened you?
Katie's voice saying help. His hand was over her mouth.
Whose hand was over her mouth?
His hand.
The man with the blue jacket and the glasses?
Yes.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant, Tommy Lynn Surles.
He was standing behind her with his
his hand over her mouth, the knife right here. He was, okay. He was,
Krystal's emotions are a bit out of control. She's trying hard to adjust.
Now, Krystal, if you need for me to stop, at some point in time, I'll stop.
I tried not to focus any attention on him, though, after I just had to point him out. He was making me nervous. He was shaking his leg and wouldn't even look up at me or anything.
What happened next?
he grabbed the knife and slit her throat. He started walking towards me.
Did you say anything to him?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
I told him I'd be quiet. I promise I won't say nothing. I'm not making the noises. It's Katie. He said, move your hands.
And why did he say move your hands? Will you show us how you had your hands?
I had them up like this.
You tell us why you had your hands up close to your neck?
Because I saw what he did to Katie and I was scared he was going to do it to me.
Adjustment is being worked on by her. That gift has imbued her with a greater sense of self-assurance.
He reached over the ledge and took my throat. Just laid there and pretended I was dead.
Tell us why you did that.
Because if he knew I was alive, he would have came back and killed me for sure.
Well, Krystal, you can stand down then, and this completes your examination. Thank you, and you are excused.
You're a brave young woman. Thank you. No more questions.
As soon as I stepped off the stand, I felt so good and relieved, very relieved.
A unanimous verdict is quickly reached by the jury after only a few hours of deliberation.
You, Tommy Lynn Surles, have been found guilty of the offense of capital murder.
They decided to give Tommy Lynn Surles the death penalty.
Serial killer Tommy Lynn Surles escapes for 20 years. Finally, he is arrested. It all began with the courage of a 10-year-old girl.
It was time for us to get back to everything as normal as possible. We had lost that, but that's what we were fighting to get back.
Krystal is a resilient survivor. She survived, but her road to recovery hasn't been smooth. She may never be able to fill the void left by her dear friend's loss. Her bond with her two sisters is stronger than ever. She completed her studies and carries on each day to make her friend Kate proud.
Floyd Surles.